Welcome to New England Street Talk, No Chaser. This is episode 11, and we titled this episode, I Am Not Racist. So I know everybody's been wondering what direction we're going to actually go in with that, so I'm absolutely excited. I'm your host, Torrey Slaughter, and today we're going to have a little one-on-one section right here on my co-host,
Yes,
Bry-Guy.
sir.
Yeah, we're going to do a one-on-one. Normally, we have about 3 or 4 people here, but for this conversation, I told myself, you know what? Maybe it's just the two of us for this one. We can 100% speak from both avenues right now.
And educated in a way.
Hell yeah.
It's not, you've had slight conversations about this, nothing ever.
It's just nice to be able to have this conversation without, you know what I mean? It's nice to have this conversation without having somebody that's going to get upset, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be able to articulate their thoughts without blowing up and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So I love that.
Rather than just sometimes just getting jumped down and saying you don't understand and all that shit.
So the first question, and I say this all the time, the first question we got to ask ourselves is, should we be over racism by now?
I mean, in my opinion, yeah, I think we should. Like, I think a lot of people get stuck on is, it's been over 100 years. And the whole thing is like, in 100 years, nobody will even know who we were. Like, most families are done. Most, your family name it really very rarely lives on past that 100-year mark. So, I think it should definitely still be taught. I think it should still be, explained, but I don't think that it's fair anymore to go into the cruel details of like some of the details that they do to like, I feel like they make it worse than, I mean, obviously it was bad, but like they don't need to make it as worse. You know what I mean?
I think the physicality, the direction you're going in as far as the physicality goes, I think that's a hard pill to swallow no matter how you describe it.
But I mean, you don't need to tell people, like, you don't need to explain to your 10-year-old kid that they dragged a 10-year-old kid down the road with a rope and then hung him from a tree.
You should know that. It's a history. It's part of who they are.
It is.
That's our culture, believe it or not. But you know, it's no different than that. Hey, it's no different than your great grandfather who bayoneted the enemy in the war. You know,
you're right.
It's the same concept. That's the problem. It's not. Like, you think we shouldn't talk about it because it technically wasn't a war. I want to say that. America loves glorifying winning wars, right? Forever. And because there was no technical war on slavery, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of people assume that the Civil War was about.
Was not.
It had
nothing to do with slavery.
Nothing to do with it. Slavery was just the pawn used to cause it rift. It was a minor compared to what the actual goal was, but I think that's what it comes down to. So like the physicality of racism and the things of that nature, I think that's a hard pill to swallow. There is no way to have that conversation where you can try to like
sugarcoat it.
You can't sugarcoat that, you know?
It's just, it's cruel because like I don't know. You just don't really want kids to think about people being hung. You know, because we don't see it anymore. You know what I mean? When was the last time you turned on the news and saw like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got this conversation. Cop shot the lady at the boil.
Okay, well, no, yeah, no, yes, no, that's shot. But I mean, like hanging, stoning, like.
That's because that's because our oppressors' weapons increased.
Yeah, increased. That's right. You're right.
Because if we had the weaponry that they had back then, we wouldn't have been stoned and shot.
No, you've been shot. That's
shot.
It. Just shot.
You know what I mean? So like, I was just gonna say like, so that's what I want to get to because like, I think that the children should be educated off of how severe things used to be, so that they can keep their eyes open to some of the racist things that are going on. Like, for example, so like look at how the country reacted to that. You know, so like whether the dude shot the lady because he was racist, whether he was a dickhead, whether he felt threatened, whatever the case may be, right? The country's response to that, or for say one of our presidential candidates, was to give immunity to cops.
I don't agree.
That was a response to that we should give immunity to cops.
Why? They're regular human beings like you and me.
You know,
so the only difference is a lot of these fucking cops are uneducated and they're young. They go to, I don't know how long the academy is, but it ain't fucking long enough.
It ain't long enough.
I mean, the first thing they do is they reach for their gun. They got a taser. They don't use it.
Nope.
You know, I don't know why I don't. And listen, I love cops. I have a lot of cop friends. I have a lot of detective friends. I have a lot of military friends. And even they say that, you know, like the academy's a little short, but I think at the end of the day, when it comes down to cops and police and the whole police force and that shit, and I'll say it and I'll stand on it, I feel like these dudes that are joining are just a bunch of fucking pussies. They're joining for the wrong reasons.
I mean, even if they are joining for the right reasons, some people just not built for that type
That's
of
what I mean.
level of stress.
You shouldn't give a 25-year-old kid who thinks he's a tough guy a fucking gun.
Yeah. No. Yeah. At all.
Because all you do is like, that's that whole shit where you gave somebody that never had authority, and they run with it.
Yep.
And it's like, yo, bro, it doesn't have to be like that. A conversation can go a way longer, better. And half these, like, that's why, like, I respect some of the older cops when they get up, like, even the young cops when they wear like hot heads and shit. As they get older, when they pull you over, like, dude, you got a joint? Throw that shit out, man. Go home. I don't want to do the paperwork.
Exactly. You know, and that's how it should be.
And exactly, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're all human beings just like they are. Like, you can't tell me, all right, the same thing. Like, everybody portrays cops to be like, whatever, racist, bullies, all this. Guess what? They're just like you and me. There's cops out there that cheat on their wives. There's cops out there that have baby moms. There's cops out there that don't pay their child support.
You said cheat on their wives. Didn't they just have a gangbang not too long ago at work?
The whole department was in on it.
You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. They're at the end of the day, they're still just like us. And I don't want to get hung up on the cop subject thing, because there's too many people that pull their phone out to record and think they know the law better than they do. Guess what? They don't know the law any more than you know the law. They have a protocol that they were taught in the academy. And you know what's crazy, man? If everybody just shut the fuck up and do what they were supposed to do, 9 out of 10 times they're going home.
See, that's a problem right there, bro. I don't like that. I disagree with that, because like I have my rights as a person. I should be able to exercise those rights whenever I feel like it.
You do, but you were also in the military.
Correct.
And you being in the military, you also know, like, yo, dude, if this is my superior and he tells me fucking jump, I'm saying how high.
But the cop isn't my superior. He's a civil servant.
He's a civil servant just trying to do his job.
Last time I checked, when you use the word servant, that means you work for me, dog. I don't work for you.
But
so why are you talking to me? I'm the boss.
Because you're a dominant figure of me and you getting something and you tell me shut the fuck up. If I don't, what's the repercussions of my actions?
Right, but that's immaturity. You know what I mean?
But that's immaturity. That's immaturity on both ends. They are
in a position where that type of immaturity shouldn't exist. I mean, like, it's like I see some of the videos, and I'm not gonna lie, some dudes are just absolutely
idiots.
Just doing the absolute most,
yeah.
And like they're just doing the videos for clout and things of that nature. But like, not like 70% of those videos are valid. Like,
facts,
you know what I mean?
No, facts, you're right. You're 100% right.
Why are you?
There's targeting. There's targeting. There's all that shit.
There's so many factors that are like built around race in that scenario
and
too.
So, and also for me, which something that I believe in heavily is the videos that we see up here in New England, and I say New England. I'm not counting New York City in this, but I'm saying New England. New England doesn't really have a race problem like outside of New England.
No,
it's not half as bad as other parts of the country. Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit.
See, I don't because I live in New England, so I'm just like, bro, I don't know, dog.
No, we're way busier. New Englanders are way busier than everywhere else.
I think because we congregate here in the New Hampshire side, and this is the busy in Manchester.
That's what I mean.
area.
We're busy. Everybody in New England's busy. We're all focused on work and family.
Have you been in Bedford?
Huh? Yeah, but everybody.
Be black in Bedford, and you come back and you tell me that racist doesn't exist.
It's so 5 years ago, yeah, I would agree with you. But now, like with all the low income housing coming through and everything like that, you got to remember all those Bedford cops grew up in Bedford.
Yeah,
and it's like that with Wyndham cops. You know what I mean? When you grow up in a small town where it's 90%, like you don't see a Toyota Corolla driving through Bedford. It's a fucking Lexus, Mercedes, an Escalade, an AMG. It's you know what I mean? So so and to boot with the way and which I respect about Goffstown, Manchester, Ware are doing a phenomenal job. The reason I don't mind them pulling over and doing those stops is because the amount of crime that's been coming from Manchester that's been slowly going out.
But it doesn't matter. It's still an illegitimate stop.
It is and it isn't, because how would you feel? Okay, you know how close Manchester is to Bedford.
Correct.
All right. The average home in Bedford is $850,000.
All
right. And you've seen the houses that are in Bedford.
All
right. How would you feel if you came home from work and all your valuables and shit got stolen because
insurance? You got an $850,000 house. You got to have insurance.
I have insurance, and you know what? Look what happened to my accident, bro. I had insurance. He didn't. He wasn't covered, and they gave me all my deductibles back. I haven't replaced half the shit, and it's been over a year.
So my thing is, but that's not a thing. So like there have always been evil people in this world, right?
There is, but
there's nothing we could do about it.
You're right, but it's starting. But Manchester's getting worse, and it's starting to develop out. So you got to remember, these small towns are trying to adapt to the big city. Manchester has almost tripled in size in the past 4 years.
Correct.
So with that coming, obviously, what happens when you bring people? You got crime.
Yeah, but this is what I love about the city of Manchester, because the city of Manchester, when it comes to crime, it isn't just black people.
No,
it isn't just Spanish people.
It's not.
We'll go take a trip right now down Lowell Street and Manchester Street right now.
Manchester Street, yeah. The homeless is the homeless. Yeah, but again, but that's on the city too, though, for allowing space. That's the safe space.
I mean, you have to though. You have to. With the direction that the city is going in, like you can't push people out of their homes and then just like be like, all right, you gotta go.
No, somewhere. You're right, and I'm not disagreeing with you. And them taking out the old police station and taking out all those rooms and all those bunks and all those programs was bullshit.
No, so like I happen to know the landlord from the old police station that took over. He kicked them out because they were stealing the copper out of the walls.
I know, but they were also getting paid government money. To house homeless people.
Yeah, but they were destroying the building at that point. It just the ends didn't justify the means. Like
I agree with you. I agree with you. But you know that going in, when you know you're taking government money for Section 8 living and all this other things, you know the clientele you're getting. Like, can we be fair to call a spade a spade? There's people that use the system the right way, and there's a majority of the people that use them the wrong way. Right. How many people do you know? And I'm gonna say, how many single moms do you know that got 3 or 4 kids that take their EBT card and they sell it? They sell a $200 card for $500 cash.
Hey, if anybody that does that in the chat, please DM me. I'm interested.
But I'm just saying though. So it's a service. It's a service that's provided that they use the wrong way.
Yeah, but that's a service that they created to.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. Hey, listen, if you can use that system to get ahead, go ahead.
Racism right there.
But I'm saying, if you can use that system to get ahead, then go for it. Yeah. I'm not. Listen, I have friends that were happy married. They had multiple kids. They purposely got divorced so that she could get the free housing. They're the low income housing where it costs them only $800-900 a month. Mm-hmm. He's not supposed to live there, so he doesn't live there. He just stays there periodically.
Yep.
And guess what? And they're doing better. They're doing very well. Yeah. And I'm not. Hey, listen, if you can do it, go ahead. That's your thing. I want to
say it was 2014. We got hit. I was working for a company and we got hit with like massive like pay. We got switched from salary to hourly. Yeah. And then they didn't average out what we were making throughout the year to determine our hourly. They just slapped everybody with like, hey, you should be able to make this much hourly. And it was enough to where like our store managers could qualify for like assistance.
Yeah.
So like it was wild. And then it was just like, what? Like, how do we go to making that little money to where I can still qualify for assistance? But like, I think the whole assistant program is another form of like, I think racism didn't leave America. I think racism evolved.
I agree with you on that. And I don't think,
but I think somebody sat down and was just like, so listen.
What can we do?
Can't beat them no more.
So we join them.
Let's just stick them in corners and see what happens.
That's valid.
Yeah,
that's valid.
All right, we got them all to sit in corners.
Now what can we make them do?
Cool. Look, they look like they're doing really good. Let's separate them. It's like a giant. You know what it is? I tell people all the time, when you look at like what the government has done to the low class, I'm not even just talking about black people anymore. When you think about what they've done to minorities, it's just like taking a group of rats and then just doing like test experiments. Yeah. Like, hey, what if we do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that just didn't happen. That just didn't happen to black or Hispanics or Asians. That's happening to white people.
That's happening to white people because white people were irresponsible. That's the difference. You 100%. Had a choice. At least you had a choice. Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Yeah, that was because it's always been that way. There's always been kings. There's always been lords. There's always been dukes and families and stuff like that. And there's always those group of white people that just didn't get it together. Right. You know what I mean? But like they had still had an opportunity, and then at some point they family folded on them. You know what I mean? Being black and Hispanic, you are born right into survival, and then like for my aspect, like growing up in Chicago, like have so many enemies as a child
Yeah.
that it's unreal. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, all right, because like I got the Mexicans who don't like black people on this side. I got the Puerto Ricans who don't like black people on this side. I got all of these white people who hate that we exist on this side.
Yeah, you're segregated to your block.
I'm segregated. You know what I mean? And so like to not educate us about cops that are just beat and like this is before, you know, this is back when we only had the flip cameras. Ain't no video.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Cop getting beaten, chased by cops and abused by cops. You know what I mean? There's people who are taking advantage of the area and things of that nature. Black people taking advantage of black people. You know what I mean? So like as you grow up, you learn to realize that it's all systemized. Like the older you get, the more you realize like, so that wasn't an accident. So
no, and I agree with you on that.
To say like to go back in the beginning, like to say like we shouldn't teach children about the race. Yes, we 100% should. I think all children should know the capita of how evil humans can be. And I think to rob them of the information of how evil other humans can be is setting them up for failure.
Yeah, but don't you think we should modernize the system and really teach them about who Kunta Kinte was and how that should happen? Like I like you can watch Roots, but the root of that, it's not the racism that they had back then was strictly black on white here.
Yeah.
But it's not like that no more.
Now it's evolved into money.
Exactly.
I mean?
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
It's evolved who has money, who doesn't.
Don't you feel like we should teach our youth, and I mean youth, I'm saying all race. Don't you think we should teach all our youth like the power of just your voice now? Because there's so many mixed races. There is. You know what?
It's definitely a mix-up pot.
Where America now is definitely a melting pot. But there's enough mixed races that are going on, and now you got to think too. All right, take a step back and looking at the mixed races. Okay, now we have gay, lesbian, and trans that we're also incorporating into that melting pot. So now we're talking about people that have to adopt children. So now you're gonna see black with a white child, or you could see white with a black child, because now the adoption rates they're gonna have to do something.
So like, at one point we say all the time, like this is one of like jokes black people used to crack all the time. It's just like, yo, go get with a white women and then like, let's make all these mixed babies. You know what I mean? And we can integrate racism that way. But then it's like, I don't think black people are understanding how much of our culture we losing. The more and more we mix in that. So like right. You look at other ethnicities and then you see that the pride and like the culture, like who they are. And you know what I mean? And then you get to black people and it's just like, I'm just black.
So that's what I always say.
There's no pride whatsoever. So, and the more and more we mix races, the more and more that's dying out.
Yeah.
And I noticed that. So it's a double-edged sword.
So for me, like my biggest thing that I've learned and I focused and what gravitated me towards, especially Randall and those guys, their family, was I learned when I was like 16, 17, like I know all of our families, we all have the relatives that are like baggage type shit. And like, but at Christmas time, everybody gets together and it's fun loving. It's that. Yep. But what I noticed about, especially the Dominican, the Spanish, the culture, and even the Mexican, because I call him my stepdad, but he's not, but he's been in my life forever, Martin. The Mexicans, Dominicans, the Spanish culture, when it's your cousin, it's your cousin. When it's your brother, it's your fucking brother. When it's your mother, it's your mother. They put family first over everything, and when they stand on that, that's saying like you don't fuck with one, you fuck with all.
Correct.
They don't.
How it should be.
They separate religion from it and everything. It don't matter. Like that's that they live and die by that. My brother's keeper code. My brother may have fucked up and did something fucked up. I'll handle that on the back nine. But no. You fucked with my brother. You fucked with my brother.
Correct.
You fucked with my mom. You fucked with my mom. So I'm not saying like my family specifically. Like we were all semi-close, but we're not. My grandparents got divorced young, so it split our family up. So like there's that whole mess. So like my family that I have, that I call my family, isn't blood. So what I personally feel like I miss that in the white culture. White people are so focused on themselves and focused on like them and their family and what they got to do to be better and all that other shit. And I've noticed black people used to cherish their family moments too, but if you saw that, to me it was always, for black people, it was always about religion.
Yep.
You put the strongest, I feel like the strongest army you ever had as far as black, what you would see is if you would drive, and I will say it too, like you would drive by a white church, you'd see 30, 40 people walk out. You drive by a black church on a Sunday at 9 and they're walking out in hundreds.
Yep.
So for me, when I would go, so I did go to a black mass once, which is wild to think, right? I did. I went to a black mass. That black mass was like, it was in an all black community. It was like 3 hours long. And then after they did, like, everybody brought a plate, everybody, it was homey. That was homey. I used to go with my grandfather on Friday nights. There'd be like 25 people. Like, at the end, nobody would shake hands. Nobody gave a fuck who you were. Everybody went, they took their communion. They got in their cars and they drove the fuck out. Like, they didn't even know who you were. You couldn't get away with that in the black community.
No. And everybody's brother.
When I went, everybody's brother.
And
then like, if your kid, if I saw, like, when I was there one time, there was one kid that was like being a little asshole to everybody. The parents of the other kid went over and had a one-on-one conversation with their parents, and then they brought their kids over and they sat them down, like, and they handled it right there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, like, that's really cool that you have a society where you can do that. I don't ever see white families ever do that, ever.
So, like, well, you don't see it because you don't see it in the mid to low class anymore. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a generational wealth conversation.
Okay, and I guess I see your point now, where you said that you're always in survival mode.
Right.
So when you being in survival mode, I'm going to say you and your people, because that's how everybody feels. Mm-hmm. You and your people, you needed to learn how to divide and conquer as a whole. Where us being as more privileged, and what we had is we didn't have to fight with our people. We were able to do it by ourselves. I
think the saying is hard times create strong men that create easy times to create weak men. I think that's the saying. Yeah, then the cycles around. Weak men create hard times to create strong men, and create easy times to create weak men. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Like, it goes in a cycle. So yeah, no, it's like, but like the problem now. So like, and then this is where like the whole race thing comes into handy again. As like the problem now is every time there is a hint of, you know what I mean, minorities, because it's not just black people. Whenever there is a big hint of this threat of minorities coming together and banding together, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, homie. The Senate, the homies upstairs,
they don't give a fuck.
They shit on it. Yeah. Every chance they get, all throughout history. Every time you see that happening, they find a way to go, no, we need to divide this. Mm-hmm. Can't let this happen.
And it sucks. No, it really does suck. Because I'll tell you what, man. There's just as many educated, smart, black, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Asian, male and female as there are white.
Where my Afghanis at, bro? They fucking intelligent out of this know with the Indians, goddamn.
Yeah, they're casinos. Doctors. Yeah, but you know what's tough? Hey, you know what's tough about Indians, doctors, and I respect them, but they don't have to pay taxes, motherfuckers.
That's
motherfuckers. Right. I mean, listen, I still love y'all. I respect all Indian people, but motherfuckers don't have to pay fucking taxes. I just feel like by now black people should get a couple casinos. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah.
You know, but personally, I just hate, like, so, like, they'll say, like, right now, like, one of the biggest things out here already was like, oh, well, like, black people were still complaining and like, oh, slavery ended this long ago, segregation ended this long ago, and then it's just like, but like, it, for me, I tell people all the time, it hasn't. You know what I mean? I still watch white people walk across the street when I'm coming down. You know what I mean? I hear the doors lock when I'm walking by.
You know what I mean? You said you had that situation at the train station just when you're trying to come home.
Yeah, I'm trying to go home. Nope, almost went to jail. Trying to find, that's crazy. That's a crazy situation. Like, here I am just trying to remember which train I'm supposed to get on to go. And I'm just looking up at the sign and I almost go to jail. You know what I mean? People asking me, cop asking me, what do I have in my bag? Like, I got my clothes. Nigga. Where are you going? None of your business. Like, you know what I mean? So in that scenario, your concept, you'd be like, oh, well, like, why didn't you just the question? I'm like, because I shouldn't have to. Like, I don't explain to you where I'm going. I don't have to tell you what I'm doing. Am I committing a crime? Am I an actor committing a crime? Is there any reason, suspicion to commit a crime? I'm just getting on a goddamn train.
I know, and you're right, but again, just for me, it's just like, you know what? They want to go home just like you in a way, so it's like you're gonna obviously get those dickheads that don't.
I'm just saying, my mans want to go home. You just never talk to me in the first
you're
place.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
Patrol, motherfucker.
Because like it is.
Talk to me.
Like we've all seen the video of the FBI agent that's like, "Yo, you got the wrong dude. You got the wrong dude," and they kept pressing, and then he hands the license and goes, "I told you, dummy." Like. You know what I mean? But to me, right?
But that's the thing. So you see situations like that, and I think that shit happens all the time.
I know it does.
FBI agents.
I know. But think about it. Think about what if he would have just handed out. It's like, you know what, man? I'm trying to have a drink with my friends. Here you go. And then turn your back, do your thing, and then give it back. They would have left. I understand what you're saying. You shouldn't have to do that, and they were wrong for doing it. I get that. But at the end of the day, bro, sometimes when somebody's pissed at you, you know what works the best? Just smile at them and don't say that fucking word.
Here's the thing, though, right? So here's the biggest problem with that. Motherfucker, you're on the clock.
I get that.
You're doing your job.
I get that.
You're on the clock.
I get
if
that.
I'm working the cash register and I'm having a bad day and I'm pissing off fucking people in the line, I'm getting fired.
Correct.
You know what I mean? If I work at the bank and I'm just fucking up people's money because I don't know, I had a bad day, I'm getting fired. So when the police are out patrolling the streets and they fucking with people that shouldn't be fucked with,
you can't fire them, though.
You know what I mean?
That's
it's
the joys.
crazy.
But
like,
hold on.
I mean?
But hold on. It's bigger than that. That's the joys of joining a union. They're protected.
Protected, but that's something. You're protected from what? Like why? Why are you?
Because you're in the union.
Yeah, union.
They do it. Listen, they do it with construction workers. They do it with electricians. They do it with plumbers. They do it with everything. Firefighters, dog. How many firefighters you see? Can't climb that fucking ladder 3 stories, but they're firefighters. They're part of the firefighters.
But
union.
anytime.
Okay.
Somebody gotta make the food.
I get it, but what I'm saying is like.
That's so okay, but okay. Tell you what though, I ain't never had a fat firefighter tell me some bullshit.
Nope. So I guess
you know what I mean. I ain't never seen nobody mad at firefighters.
So I guess for me now is like I'm so over like all the bullshit that my new way of thinking is like, listen, if I'm educated and the person that I'm dealing with is uneducated, what can I do to dumb myself down to make it so that like it's a peaceful transaction?
I get what you're saying. Like, because there's
I just don't have the time. I just don't
it.
have the fucking time to sit there and argue. You're already jamming me up for no reason, and you're gonna keep me here as long as you want because I physically can't do shit or I'm going to jail. But at the end of the day, if I just give you my license, if that's all it's going to take to shut you the fuck up so that I can go home, here you go, dude. Do what you want with it. I got nothing to hide. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but like if that was the case, then like nobody should have to be able to do. Nobody should do their job correctly. Then there should be no conseconses for anybody to have to do their job.
Hey, listen, that's the road we're going down, dude. That's the road we're going down anyway.
But that's the whole purpose of the movement. And people highlighting racism in the first place, and so shit like this can stop. I've never understood why we get such a pushback, especially like for example, Black Lives Matter. Why did the world come together to try to fight and combat Black Lives Matter when all we saying is, hey, hello, we're tired of dying to people that's supposed to be protecting us? Same
thing, though. Devil's advocate. Flip the coin with 9/11. Everybody's brothers, sisters, they give you water if you're walking down the road. If you were homeless, they gave you food. Now, where'd that go?
COVID, everybody was for themselves. They was beating old ladies for toilet paper. I remember that. So like,
that's what I'm saying, and that brings us back to government allowing you to get up and then bring you down.
I mean, it just comes down to
now.
I don't understand. Like, so for example, to say like hey, racism ended 50 years ago. Racism ended 75 years ago. Well, if we pull up the ages of all the senators right now and all the politicians that are running right now, they look like they all about the same goddamn age when racism was still going on.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So like, yes, I still have a fucking chip on my shoulder because the same people, for example, Biden, who said he didn't want his kids going to a school in a racial jungle, highlighting he didn't want his white kids to go to school with black kids, was just a fucking president. Like, we were mad at Trump for just acting and being an asshole and saying racist shit, but like, we then elected a motherfucker that was actually fucking racist right after that.
No, so I don't understand that. Like, okay, but what about Kamala Harris? She's black and she's racist. She's the one that her and Biden developed a 3-strike policy.
All right, whoa. I wouldn't call her racist. That would be ambitious. That's different.
Ambitious to lock up innocent white kids for nonviolent crimes?
That's different. She ain't just locking up white folks, though. She locking up every motherfucking body. Goddamn it. She ain't just pick one demographic.
Oh, but, come on, bro.
She targeted everybody.
But let's be realistic. Let's be realistic about it.
I'm not disagreeing. I think the 3-strike rule is absolutely fucking asinine.
We're talking about nonviolent crimes for fucking 3 strikes. So
yeah, you're going to
a stop sign, a joint, and
jaywalking.
You're done for 25 years.
Yeah, not 25, but like,
is it 5? Is it minimum 5?
Yeah, it's minimum 5.
I knew it was bookers for nonviolent.
You could get a max of 25.
Yeah, but it's 5. I do remember
time served is a thing.
I do remember them saying the one violent crime that was an automatic. It was automatic a felony and it carried more.
Yeah. They can stack them on you. They can definitely do that to you. But in my head, I was just like, that was. But when she did that, I understand. Like, from a money standpoint, I understand why she did it. I don't agree with it at all. But like, she didn't do it because I wouldn't say she did that because she was racist. She's an asshole. She's definitely an asshole. Like,
there's conversations she's had about when they've asked like, how do you feel about young African American? Like, what state was she? South Carolina or Georgia? One of them.
I don't fucking know.
The state that she was in, they asked her when she was running for Senate, like, why she took away funding to give the reporter said African American man in a prison the ability to have a higher education, and she said that if they wanted that education bad enough, then they wouldn't be in prison.
See that I don't
and
understand.
I was like, what the fuck talking about? Like, you know how many people make
that.
bad decisions when they're 15, 16 years old that gotta carry 10 years?
You know what I mean? Like, we love Robert Downey Jr. though. Ain't he a fella?
Yep.
Yeah, we love Donald Trump. I can name all our favorite people, and you'd be like felon. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I think we should just honestly, and I say this, and people gonna hate me for this, yo. I just think one day we should just let everybody out. Just let everybody out. All 2.3 million of them. Let them all out.
That, dude.
Just let every single one of them out.
No, you can't.
Just let them all out.
Imagine letting Charles Manson out,
bro.
Who
cares? Let them all out. Every single one. All 2.3 million of their asses need to just be like, that's it. You're done. Let's go. Ship them to Antarctica or some shit. Don't they pay people to live in Antarctica?
I mean, so, hey, listen, dude. Honestly, so I've had different opinions. Like, I feel like if you are from 15 to 25, right, and you're serving a life sentence for a violent crime, and it's something that you killed somebody or did something and you had no remorse in your heart, all right, that means you have that switch.
So Marines.
Thank you. I honestly, I feel like they should be given the right to join the military.
But see, the problem with that is
why not? Why not? We're talking about, we're going to talk about the 14-year-old kid or 15-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid in Bedford who's got a high GPA, who's going to join the military just for school, going to do their 4 years and get out. Now you go to war, you give that kid a gun, and you're standing beside him, and that kid runs and hides, and you're sitting in the front line by yourself. Or do you want the guy that's got the same mindset that you do, that's going to stand beside you and be like, we're going to pull this trigger together? Yeah, no. The problem with that is, like, I don't think people factor in POWs, the prisoners of war. Yeah, I know like, POW means.
Then you got, like, spies, double agents, things of that nature. The military is a lot deeper than, like, what we see on TV. Well, maybe some of the stuff you see on TV, you should, like, watch Netflix, and then, like, some of that shit actually happens, dog. Like,
no, it does.
You know what I mean?
Like Black Hawk Down wasn't the Black Hawk had a problem. Like they were done with their service.
God forbid the inmate that was serving a life sentence gets captured or something like that. Yeah. You think he's not gonna flip on the Americans that had him locked up for 25 years?
Yeah, right.
That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's a trust concept thing. How do I trust this dude? You know what I mean?
Because like I said, because he's got the same mindset you do, and now.
I mean, but we're not in times of war anymore. If we were like back in like the Spartan days, you're absolutely right. Give me a barbaric fucking army of fucking frontliners to just go out and die first. Like, you know what I mean? Spears and arrows days. Yeah, I definitely line them up first. Like, all right, y'all run out there. We gonna be on horses back here. You're gonna die anyway, dog. Might as well die for your country. But like now, people get decimated out there. Atomic bombs and shit like that.
Oh yeah, drones. All of a sudden you see a drone come by, drop mortar. Boom.
Yeah. No, there's no way to justify the massive amount of murder that's gonna happen to those people. Because that's what they're gonna be used for. They're just gonna be the pawns. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna be the designated you kick the door in guy. No, for the prison system, I think the prison system is flawed. I think it's broken. I don't think it works.
I don't either.
And now the fact that we know that it doesn't work, but we still keep it, it's absolutely asinine. I understand that we keep it because now we didn't locked up 2.3 million people and we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do with them. But what do we do with them now? Also, the massive, absolutely massive amount of money and income that people are making off of locking up fucking minorities is absolutely astonishing. Like,
it's the same as doctors.
Yeah,
doctors use the same thing.
It's really hard not to get in the game when you find out how much money they make off of one person.
Oh, of course. But
you know what I mean?
Same thing. You go to the hospital and get an aspirin, it's $650.
I mean,
come on, dude. A Band-Aid is $400.
We had to use this special needle. Nope, not that needle. This needle's a little hollow, but like we had to use this special needle. $1,472.
Oh, you need to go from your house to Elliott.
That's bullshit too.
A block and $1,700 on an ambulance.
Bullshit too. We have a whole community of people who don't have health insurance by design. Like, how would you not incline race into that?
You know what I mean? You can do it. There's a way to do it. I don't know how you do it yet, but
there's no way. It still exists. It's just advanced to a point to where we're being tricked into thinking that we're wrong for acknowledging.
I don't think you're wrong, and I think you find a lot more people that actually agree with you than disagree with you now.
Yeah, no, it's
and that's I feel the melting pot. That's the.
I just wish I was like 10 years younger. Give me like 50. Hit me with all this info 15. Like, hit me with this acknowledgement 15 years ago. I'd be like, yeah, now.
What do you think would have changed?
Yeah, no, me. I would have done with the next 15 years of my life. I sure as hell wouldn't be sitting here. No, I love you guys, but like, nah, sometimes I ask myself, I just like, really? Like, I just, like, to be like 35. Today's my birthday. I turned 35. And like now I'm 35 and I'm realizing how much shit just went on the last, like, so I'll go from when I was 18 till now. You know what I mean? And like, I just idly, ignorantly just strolled walking down the street, ignoring the fact that to my left and right, my people, you know what I mean? I just getting absolutely taken advantage of and decimated by this broken ass system that we've all just gotten comfortable with living in.
Now,
for example, right? Mm-hmm. Perfect example, right? Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
How many times we see Juneteenth in the last 5 years? Now go back 10 years. People, what the fuck is that?
No,
they literally used the whole holiday. They found a way to erase an entire fucking holiday. Like, and I think about it. I used to say it all the time. I was like, damn, bro, like we don't even care.
No, but
that's
you know
what's
what,
wild.
dude?
Like as a nation, like bro, Cinco de Mayo comes, everybody has a sombrero on.
Oh yeah, same as
everybody.
Same as fucking St.
Everybody got their lightsabers.
Everybody's Irish.
They fucking lightsabers on May 4th. 4th be with you, goddamn it. Everybody got their lightsabers, goddamn it.
Yeah, but you know what? The reason none of that. So listen, dude. To me, I felt like there was a major problem, like when kids don't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance in school anymore. When you can't say Merry Christmas. Like,
happy holidays.
Yeah, like, you know what, man? Like,
celebration of churches stay happen. I didn't think they'd actually accomplish that, but they actually.
I mean, religion is a big part of what build people who they are sometimes, and you're taking it away from people. And when you start taking people's beliefs away because you feel some type of way it's not right, to me that's fucking racist. I'm not like racist is so much than just fucking black, white, or of a color.
Correct. I agree.
It's fucking mental, it's physical, it's everything. It's everything in one. And I get upset when me and you had that conversation, or I don't even get upset, but like I wasn't even disappointed. But remember when we brought Byron to play hoop, and he's like, well, I'm just naturally better than you because I'm black. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I just destroyed you.
Genetic superiority.
Now, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, I had a conversation 20 minutes ago with somebody when I was like, all right, listen, like the difference between black and white and why like it's not fair to judge. I'm like, if we take two people, we take a 16-year-old white kid that's 6'5", 185 is roughly what they should weigh. And then we do the same thing with the black African American, and we put them in the same workout regimen, give them the same diets and they have the same schedule. In 6 months, that African American male is going to be a fucking superhero.
Yes.
And the white kid's going to damn near stay the same.
It'll be average. You know what I mean? And keep up, but like,
and that's why, like, and that's real.
Yeah.
That's not like fake.
So I tell, so like but like it's crazy because like Byron says it, but he's absolutely right though.
He is right, but I mean, he's
genetic right. Superiority is what I tell people. I tell people all the time the black race are genetically superior. We were bred that way.
Bred.
And like
we were bred that way.
And I tell people all the time, like some people
weren't born that way. No, I tell people all the time,
we weren't born that way.
Go back and watch Roots and like actually pay attention to the movie. Man, that ain't wrong. Google Kenyans right now.
Mm-hmm.
Google Africans. Yep. The average height and weight and lifespan. It's different than the United States of America.
Yeah, it's astonishing. Like so, like, but then I gotta tell people, like, I think I had this conversation with you.
Did,
I was just like, yo, listen, like, back in the day, you used to take the best LeBron James, and then you used to put him in a pen with all the women. And then now you got like 5 or 6 little LeBron James.
5 or 6, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
5 or 6. You know what I mean?
We're talking about superheroes.
Yep. He ain't stop at just the girls in the shed too. Sometimes you slip there and got your wife. Gotcha.
Like that's that thing. Like imagine
I'm the baby's
we say that. Imagine Venus Williams and
Serena Williams and LeBron James just put them in the cup. Oh my God, make like 10 of them.
That's real, man. That's not fake.
But that's the thing, though. I think that's real, and so that's why I tell like a lot of people I get a lot of people to give me pushback on that. I was like, well, who do you think you are by saying that? I'm like, yo, dude, we're genetically superior. We were literally molded to be like every climate.
Yeah,
every climate.
You're damn near almost cold-blooded.
Like anything, like just pure strength and anomaly. It's genetic,
and
we losing that. I hate that we losing that. Like,
and I think maybe I have to agree with you on that part when you said that when you're born in survival mode.
Yep. I'm born and my chicks act against me. It's the to use religion as exact. I am born with sin, right off the rip. I'm born with an L, right off the rip. No matter how hard I work, no matter how much I try, I'm automatically born with that little check mark. That's it. And then I have to overcome that. So, like, black kids have to overcome to an upper echelon the exact opposite way as with the example you just gave. Like, we both went the same 6 months in the same direction. But if we're talking about from a class standpoint, yeah, I'm just made it to middle class, but this dude's a politician.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we went to the same school. We did the same regiment. You know what I mean? And it's like it's set up that way. Right? And I think what we do is like look at how they tear down hip hop right now. Look at how hip hop is getting absolutely decimated.
But I feel like that's easy to do.
It is. I don't think it was planned that way.
I don't think it was planned that way.
It was planned that way. No, it was planned that way. You think all that weird shit and all that stuff was going on. Think about how, I don't know if you know, but think about how every other year we decimate another one of our black icons in the music industry.
It's been like that since Michael Jackson.
I mean, there you go.
Michael Jackson, Prince. Like, come on,
it just kept going. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. Now we got P. Diddy. Suge. I forgot Suge.
You can't. I don't count Suge in that.
I count Suge.
How you count Suge?
I count Suge.
He's a legit gangbanger.
Exactly. But like
he was a kingpin.
Yeah.
He was a leader.
So was Aaron Hernandez, but whatever.
Oh, Aaron Hernandez gets crucified for it?
No, we don't. We don't talk about Aaron Hernandez. I'm probably the first person that brought him up in a long time.
No, I mean, we talk about this all the time. He's arguably the greatest fucking tight end to ever play the game.
We talk about it. Do nobody else talk about Aaron Hernandez?
Because I feel like that's where education comes in.
Yeah, so we're
educated enough to know, like, dude, this dude was a fucking monster.
But like, why didn't Epstein get destroyed? Because why didn't he get wrecked? No, but when he was alive, they let it slide, and he's not the only one. Why Jennifer Aniston not getting pulled to shreds right now? Why Wendy Williams still missing?
I mean,
they released that Joe Biden is dead yet? He's dead.
Nah,
he's dead, bruh.
No, he ain't dead.
Yo, he dropped out of the race on a text message. That dude's dead, bruh.
Nah,
he's dead. Why ain't nobody? Joe Biden's dead. When's the last time you seen Joe Biden?
No, but I can't bet you he ain't dead.
He's dead, bruh. Wendy Williams is dead too. When's the last time you seen Wendy Williams?
Nobody knows.
Dead. Dead. You know what I mean? So it's just like if you really like Oprah. When was the last time Oprah was relevant? How did Oprah just dip in? You know, all that shit came out and all that in the island shit. Oprah just went poof.
Because I still think, I mean, listen, man, everybody says I'm crazy. I know, everybody says I'm crazy for it, man, but I still believe in higher powers. You can't tell me that there's not 5 or 6, 7 fucking families out there, the Rockefellers, that still go run
the banks.
Everybody else says no.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, I miss, everybody's the same thing. Everybody's like, you're a fucking piece of shit for it. I say I miss the mafia all the time, dog. The mafia kept everybody in check, dog. They kept everybody in check. Everybody. It didn't matter who you were. They kept people in check.
I don't think that
they brought you in and they took you out. They built you up. They took you down.
But the concept behind that, I wouldn't give the credit to just what the mafia was doing. Yeah, I agree with that. But I just think that people just has to have pride in themselves and their families to bring that type of nature back.
But they didn't need to have to when you had Frank Lucas providing for your community. Frank Lucas did good and bad, and he when in his good and bad, there wasn't as many homeless.
Oh.
He took care of his people. He took care of this community. You know why?
Illegally.
You know what? Who cares if it's legal or illegal? Our government's illegal. Hunter Biden, coke, kiddie porn, guns, coke in the White House. Get the fuck out of here with all that shit. Our own government's crooked. Our own government's full of shit. But at the end of the day, you know what, man? I don't respect him for being a snitch and doing all that shit, that extra shit that he did. But what I'm saying is, as a whole, he had the right mindset to think about it. All right, if I'm going to be Frank fucking Lucas and I'm going to be the staple of who I am, my community is going to look good. The people that are around me, they're all going to eat. Nobody's going to talk bad about me. Nobody. Another one, Pablo Escobar. He was a cruel person, correct? did a lot of hateful shit. But he did the hateful shit to who? The people that got in the same ring as him.
Yeah.
But everybody else in his community around him loved him. Why? He brought food. He brought gas. He brought electricity. He brought plumbing. Why? Because it's a power thing.
I'm saying that all of that could be accomplished the right way.
How?
The right way.
How? In my opinion, okay, no,
communities need to work together.
Okay,
they shouldn't have to have some type of kingpin around. Like, no one needs the Joker, goddammit.
Hold on.
Fucking vigilante Batman for the streets.
Hold on. Tried that with Biden. I mean, no, I'm sorry, Barack Obama. And he tried. He tried.
First 4 years.
He tried.
Folded
I'm not talking about him as a president. I'm talking about what he did for the city of Chicago. He tried. Him and his wife tried. They tried. They're great speakers. You gave now.
I think they will.
Now hold on. Okay, maybe. But hold on. There's that saying that African American male is most powerful from when he's 20, 35. After you take this 35, they take the soul out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
dude,
so
get the man great head.
Just saying. So now think about
they stress the shit out of that man.
What Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, what they tried to do, they were young and they tried to use their power. They got it taken away from them. So the next person you had after that,
murdered.
They did get murdered. But the next person you had after was Barack Obama. That was the next person. So we're talking about what, 30 years? They
all have the same thing in common.
Muhammad Ali could have done a lot for New York, and did he do it?
But anytime, because is it worth trading your life for? Is what you got to ask yourself. That's the problem. Black people, if they do that, is it worth trading my life for? So now I'm gonna have to trade mine and my family's lives for a bad community. I mean, and they all die for it. Like, think about everybody named except Muhammad Ali. Dead, dog.
No, Muhammad Ali's dead now, but
I mean, but like,
he didn't die. You know what I mean?
But anybody that just like.
But you know what? I mean, I would say me as the person that I am, I would do it for my community.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
One big. Hey, they did it with George Floyd. They had a small little movement going, and then I feel like myself is that community. They took themselves out of the equation when they tried to steal Seattle. It's just true. No. They had something good going until they fucking.
Shout out to Akon building Wakanda out there.
Yeah, shout out to Akon.
All right, but that bell means that is all the time we have for you guys. Thank you guys for being live, especially for our audio listeners. I appreciate our downloads. We just reached 450 downloads on all our stream apps. So if you got iHeart, Spotify, definitely jump on the stream. This weekend, birthday bash, mine personally, Saturday, DM me, hit me up, figure out why you're not already on the list of coming to my party. Right now, we all headed over to Bad Burger right now. We'll be at Bad Burger from 8 to 10. Come down, grab a smash burger, listen to some old school hip hop, and then we are out of here.
Thank you very much, sir.
Always. Fun.